Alrighty, it's a sport club fly. I haven't. Uh-oh. It's tapping up against my.
Throttle hold.
Tapping up against my little cowling. Therefore, I shall move my cowling back.
12.6 volts.
There we go. It is very close tolerance. That's not the stock motor.
Throttle release.
Taking off. This is the one where I've mentioned that it appears that I thought it was a good idea many times whilst flying it, that I would try to take turns that were not quite fast enough, and I wouldn't be high enough to push forward on the stick, and it would fall out of the sky like an actual bag full of hammers. So
12 volts.
After putting it back together half a dozen times, this one also has a dubious distinction of I went to go replace the bearings in the motor, just, you know, prophylactic measure, because I had hundreds of flights on it, and many of them resulted in nose ends. And yeah, I got to do that. And there's 3 grub screws. Guess which one doesn't come out? Number 3. I put heat on it. I mean, if there was a way to get that grub screw out without damaging the motor, I could have done it, and fucking failed. So I ended up buying like I wasn't gonna pay, they wanted $50 for a motor or some crazy shit like that. So what I ended up doing was buying a heads-up hobby motor that
11.8 volts.
It's funny because many of the personalities that I deal with over on What Did You Fly Today, or What Did You RC Today, they run together. Many of them are assholes that just literally run together. And one fella told me he measured the wattage output, and there's just no way it could possibly work on God's green earth, and he was wrong. It not only works, it's stronger than the original motor.
6 volts.
So a big fuck you to that guy, whoever he was. Yeah, it's a little choppy aloft, and I was running into a problem with my V1 T28 that I was having to give it a fair amount of down elevator
11.6 volts.
to keep it aloft, or to keep it from, you know, acting tail heavy, going nose up. So I brought that thing in. It may be that the Gens Ace battery and the Hobby King battery that I'm flying are different weights, as in that the Gens Ace that I'd flown in it before was very
11.6
significantly
volts.
heavier. I was having to give her a bunch of down though, and I don't like that. To keep her nose down. So it's going to be Cubby Dawn Patrol. And Eric wants to fly his Night Walrus that he got from our good friends at Hobby King for $135 to the door, although he bought it through Amazon. I guess he wanted the extra level of protection. The sun will rise very soon. I think I'm going to carry Tundi up for that fly. And then I have the Hoglet, but I don't know, I'm kind of not feeling it today. When you say that out loud, boy, maybe Maybe you should behave. I might just spend the balance of my time figuring out whether the old X-vert's going to work. I'll slip out to my dad's tomorrow morning, visit him and his wife who just retired. And then Thursday I may come back out here. Thursday or Friday. I need to break out my FPV equipment. I'm really wanting my diversity receiver to get here.
11.3 volts.
Bitch is in the Netherlands right now. Excuse me. I'm having a little reflux this morning. The allergies are pretty bad. I was watching the wind and it looks like we might get lucky and it'd be lower this afternoon. We'll see. Wouldn't mind coming back out here with airplanes yet to gain. Yeah, you get knocked around it there a little bit. It's funny. Cubby. I was flying this thing FPV at about I don't know, 60, 80 feet above the tarmac. Cubby. That bitch just dropped out of the sky. I'd been flying it with the stock receiver and the orange module, and I don't know who had the brownout, but one of my first good crashes with it. Tough as nails. I should love it more than I do. Spaghetti struts and all. I ought to put floats back on it and make it part of my rotation since I seldom carry it out here. Although it's a fun FPV platform, you really kind of don't worry about fucking it up. Alright, let's give Tundi some shtick time. Landing! It's going to count for 2. Cubby.
Throttle hold 11.4 volts.
See ya. Alright, I'm walking over. Let me disarm my aircraft. Next up, Eric's Night Walrus.